Today, we'll be going over how to run a report in Salesforce Lightning. Starting from the home page, go over to the Reports tab up top. Here, from the Reports page, we'll see a list of any reports that we've already run and saved. So let's go ahead and create a new one so we can see it on our list. Up at the top right corner, we have two options, New Report and New Report Salesforce Classic if you're familiar with that version. As this is a tutorial on how to run a report for Salesforce Lightning, we'll just do this option. Click on New Report, and you'll be prompted with a list of several different options, basically all of which you can ignore. Today, we'll be filtering for any active PSA records. So to start, type in Service Agreements. It's a lot faster to just type it in than to scroll down the list and try to find it by itself. There are still different options here, but we just want to go with the most basic one. Click on it and press Continue. Now we come to the report customization page. Here, our list is not showing us a whole lot of records, and that is because if we go over to this Filters tab, I can see here it is set to show me only my service agreements. We want to click on it, go to the drop-down, and click All Service Agreements and apply it. Now I'm seeing a list of all the records in the system. Go back to the Outline tab, and over here, we have a list. If we pop out this Fields tab, we have a list of all the different fields that are possible to include in any service agreement record. The first thing we're going to do is add a type of agreement column. So go ahead and type in type of agreement. And now we can see that we're seeing a ton of different types of agreements. As we only want to filter for PSAs, we're going to go over to this Filters tab. And we're also going to add in a type of agreement filter. It's going to prompt you to select all the types of agreements you want to see. As we only want to see PSAs, we're going to click on it and press Apply. Now we're only seeing PSAs in this list. Next, in order to filter for any active records, let's go back to the Outline tab, and we are going to add columns for both agreement end date and amendment end date. So first, agreement end date, and another for amendment end date. Now we can see some records have nothing in this field. Some records only have something filled in for the amendment end date, and likewise for agreement end date. In order to filter for out these agreements that have clearly already expired, we're going to go back over to our Filters tab and once again add in the same fields that we added in as columns. So let's start with agreement end date. Click on it and it's going to prompt you to add a value. We want to click this drop-down operator and we're going to do greater or equal to today's date, May 26th, and press Apply. So now we can see over here in our columns that that filter has come into effect, and now we only see records where the agreement end date is greater than today's date. We're going to do the same thing for amendment end date. So go ahead and add in another filter field, amendment end date. Same thing, click the operator, make sure it's set greater or equal, and then click today's date again and press Apply. So now we are asking the report to filter for records that have both the agreement end date and the amendment end date fields as greater than today's date. If we scroll down, we have a list of exactly 31 records that are still active. However, we have to keep in mind that there are certain records, most of the time actually, that have either agreement end date or amendment end date filled in. And there is only a small number of records that actually have both. So in order to pull a more comprehensive list, we're going to add a filter logic. So come over here and press the little drop-down arrow right here and press filter logic. It's going to come up with a little numbering system for the different fields that we've chosen to filter by. So now we're asking, one is type of agreement equals PSA, and that's constant. But we want to ask the report to filter by either number 2, agreement end date, or number 3, amendment end date. In order to do that, we're going to do 2, delete the and type or. So 1 and 2 or 3, and press apply. However, the system is going to yell at you and tell you that you need to add in parentheses, which is really simple. All you have to do is open and close parentheses around the 2 fields and press apply. Now the report is satisfied with that filter logic, and as we can see, it comes up with a lot more options. This list only includes 50, but if we go up here to the top and press run this report, we'll get a much more comprehensive list. And if we scroll down all the way down, we can see that we have a total of 146 active PSA records, where there is an agreement end date field or an amendment end date field greater than today's date. Now we want to refine this report even further. So we're going to go back into our customization page by pressing edit at the top right corner. Now we're back at the report customization page again. In order to refine this report even further, one way we can easily do this is by searching by department. Start by adding a department column. Now you can see over on the right-hand side, all of the departments that are associated with the various records. Go over to the filters tab and do the same thing by adding a department filter field. You have a few options here. If you know exactly the department that you're searching for, you can keep the operator as equals and type it in exactly. However, most of the time, a department has more than one way to code for their various specialties underneath their department. In this case, for example, we're going to do pediatrics. Pediatrics has multiple specialties, and a way that they normally code for their different department specialties is by using the abbreviation PEDS. So if we do contains PEDS and apply, now we can see on the right-hand side various different specialties captured by the PEDS abbreviation. If we go to the top right-hand corner and press run, now we can see that there are approximately 22 active PSA records for all the specialty departments under the Department of Pediatrics. If you go over to the top right-hand corner and press Save As, you'll be able to save a copy of this report, name your report, and if you're so inclined, add a description so that you can easily remember what it's about later. Press Save. Now, you'll be able to find this report if you click on your Reports tab. Now we're back at the Reports homepage. As you can see, I already have a few different examples of this same report. If we click on it, we can go back in and see the report and all the work that we've saved thus far. One final helpful tool, although not necessary, is to click this drop-down arrow and click Export. We have two options, a formatted report or details only. However, formatted is almost always going to be the better option. When we export, it'll give us an Excel sheet that we can then go in and customize later on. It'll prompt us and then give us a download that we can then open up and view an Excel sheet. This can be a helpful tool for departments to be able to keep track of their ongoing and active records. And there you have it, This is an easy way to run a report for active PSA agreements in Salesforce Lightning.